Hello, everyone. Today, we will reflect on something that I believe we will all have to face at some point in our lives, sometimes even more than once. Difficulties in life, be it financial difficulties, such as a phase of unemployment or even being the victim of a scam, some in turn can become beggars when they are unable to recover in time. We can also face health problems, an illness, or an accident that can completely affect our lives overnight. We can also lose loved ones and not know how to deal with the loss, or we can suffer from a relationship that didn't work out, or some betrayal on the part of friends. We may be victims of some condition that we have caused ourselves, such as obesity, drug addiction, gambling, or drinking. What I think about these problems and what message I see behind it. I believe that life is a simple test to see if we will return to our heavenly home or if we will be condemned to the lake of fire, and we need to go through difficulties in order to evolve as good people. Let's take an example, the financial issue, for example. Money is something that can actually be very good, but if we don't know how to use it, it can be devastating for our soul. Many people get carried away by greed and want to earn more and more money, regardless of whether they will harm other people along the way. Therefore, sometimes we can be thrown into the deep end simply to understand what really matters. Live according to the teachings of Christ, not be selfish or greedy, not think we are superior to other people simply because they have less money than us. That's why we can enter a crisis, lose everything we achieved that was taking us to the opposite path to Christ. So we must know how to control our financial expenses, buy what we really need, and not let ourselves be influenced by advertisements and spend more money of what we actually receive. We will have a more peaceful life without worrying about being slaves to the financial system because we put ourselves in a sea of debt. People who only live through work end up moving away from God because they don't have time for God. If we walk the right way, at some point we will be able to afford to spend a little more, and we will do it in a way that will be much more pleasant. I'll give a common example of this mistake. I see many people who work, buy a financed car, spend years working to pay for that car. As soon as they finish the payments, they go into new debt to buy another car, just to please their ego. If you look superior to others because you have a new car, often people barely have a decent home. They lack basic things in their home. They get into fights with their spouse because they prefer the car to respecting their family. By the way, we don't need to take out a new debt. Run the risk that if something goes wrong, we could get into a complicated situation precisely to have this new car. Since our old car does exactly the same things as this new one, both will take us to the same places. The only difference will be satisfying our own ego by buying the newest car. Still related to money, but different from living to create new debts day after day. We have something that, in my point of view, is even worse, which is living just to make money. For example, other people become completely addicted to making more and more money, who end up getting involved in illegal businesses and scams to make more and more money. Others practically sell themselves to the devil by propagating immoral ideologies simply to make money through advertising. And usually a difficulty is accompanied by another difficulty, for example. It's in bad times that we really see who our true friends are. People like to take advantage of our success, but they don't come closer when we're failing. The vast majority will try to push you further and further down. So be very careful with who you relate to. That's why life puts these tests on us so that we can filter our relationships, stick with the good ones, and stay away from the bad friends. It will be very common in times of difficulties for us to face, in addition to the problems mentioned above, others such as fear of getting up. We will often see solutions, but we will have difficulty executing this response. And in these cases, those false friends may still make our reaction difficult, for it is important to move away from them before any reaction. Just like in the financial example, we can have the example involving health. Many people face problems such as obesity. They know that this is a problem and is bad for their health, but many people just make jokes with these people. And this does not solve the problem. I also think that solutions, such as adapting chairs in public environments or any political measure, will not solve the problem either. In these cases, good friends can help, encouraging us to practice new, healthier habits, gym and sports, together, without any prejudice and with all the necessary patience because results don't come overnight. But what about when you find yourself in a situation where it seems like there aren't even good friends? Well, I have something very important to remind you. There is a friend. Jesus is your friend and he is with you. If you saw that you are going through a problem, if you saw some solution that you can do to solve your problem, know that it was Jesus who told you this in your subconscious, but it depends on you to react. And be prepared because the enemy will always try to take you out of focus. He will always try to bring you down more and more often. He wants you to think that the world is unfair, that God doesn't love you, that it doesn't pay to be good because people are bad, and therefore you should be bad to be successful like them. But don't listen to the enemy. Listen to what Jesus tells you inside. He is guiding you to the exit. And as I said before, we will often face these problems more than once. Why? Because again, we let the enemy enter our mind and made us make wrong decisions that led us to failure again. But don't worry, Jesus is still with you. And just like last time, he will help you again. Well, that's it for today, my reflection of the day. Feel free to comment. If you like the content, leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. God bless you.